On this episode of the Hanford Insider, Brad Albert stops by to give us an update on many of the activities of the Hanford Department of Parks and Community Services. Rob will give you a look at some of this week's community events, and I'll be back with your sports report. This is the Hanford Insider for Monday, March 30th.
Welcome to the Hanford Insider Podcast, your inside look at the people, places, and stories that make Hanford such a special place to live, work, and explore. I'm your host, Rob Bentley. From downtown happenings to local history and community voices, we're bringing you the best of Hanford straight from the insiders. So let's get started. In community news this week, after a few months of construction at the old Sizzler building at 11th and Lacey, we finally saw a sign go up for Smileland Dentistry. It's amazing how many people miss the old Sizzler's restaurant. Others have asked about the construction at the old Rite Aid at 10th and Fargo, and word has it that it will become a new facility for DaVita dialysis. Later in the show, Brad Albert gives us some really good updates on community activities, so stay tuned. For now, let's take a look at this week's community calendar. There'll be a parade in downtown Hanford on Thursday, April 9th, celebrating the Sierra Pacific Golden Bears girls basketball team's state championships. The parade will begin and end at the Hanford Civic Auditorium. Speaking of Sierra Pacific, their band will be holding their annual shredding event on Saturday, April 11th at the old district office across from Carl's Jr. Finally, the Downtown Hanford Car Show will be held Saturday, June 6th. Find out more at carnegiecarshow.com. If you have an event coming up, large or small, and you'd like some help getting the word out, let's work together. Send your information to hanfordinsider@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to my weekly newsletter to get a complete calendar of events. It's the most comprehensive community calendar available. Spring has definitely sprung here in Hanford, California, and we have with us today Brad Albert, the Director of Parks and Community Services in Hanford, and we are going to play Recreation Roulette. What do you think, Brad?
I hope I'm ready for this.
Okay, I have a spinning wheel, and we have about 136 topics on the wheel, but we'll probably only get to 8 of them or so. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel and see what we've got up first.
You got it.
Okay, well, we see advertisements that Freddie the Firetruck has come out of hibernation for this summer. And fill us in on Freddie the Firetruck and maybe the carousel rides, too, while you're at it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, with the good weather coming out in springtime now, Freddie is available to take rides and tours around town, as is the carousel for 1 hour. And also included in that is the Bastille Patio, which is a new kind of an area that will be running out to private parties and to groups throughout the spring. We do run Freddie and the carousel during all of the Thursday night markets. That will be starting in a little over a month now. So we're really excited about that. Freddie's running great. Albert Yarborough, our driver, is ready to go and take people on an unforgettable tour.
Lots of fun. Lots of fun. All right, let's hit number 2. Oh, this one's interesting. We've been seeing in city council news that they've been talking about this urban forest grant. And some people would probably be led to believe, oh, they're just going to buy a bunch of trees and stick them in the ground. That I've been following this, and it's a lot more than that, yeah?
Yes, we received a grant from the Forest Service, a community and urban forestry grant, about a year ago. And with that grant, we've accomplished a lot so far. We're in the adoption phase of an urban forest master plan, which will really be a roadmap for the city of Hanford moving forward. and the importance of trees and what they contribute, to the physical well-being and quality of life of Hanford residents. Included will be planting 600 trees, but we've also done a tree inventory of all publicly owned trees. We know what size, what species, which ones are doing well, maybe some that aren't doing so well. So for the first time ever, we really have a catalog of everything that we oversee and manage. So this is a huge step forward for urban forestry. We've actually learned, kind of surprisingly, we've lost some canopy cover over the last 4 years, with about 90% of that happening on private property. So we're trying to figure out, are people taking trees out? Were they the improper species and maybe lifting up driveways or sidewalks? And so part of this grant is also to do public education and outreach. We've actually developed a tree planting guide so people know how to actually properly plant their trees and watering. And usually it takes about 2 years to establish a new tree.
And this also includes an arborist kind of on call to assess what's going on with trees in town, yeah?
Yeah, we've assembled actually what I call my tree expert team, and an on-call arborist, which is West Coast Arborist. They come down and they help us consult on heritage trees, which in Hanford is the Valley Oak species, and those are protected. In addition, future planting sites of these trees, what is the right species in that location, in that soil, and Hanford's water conditions, so everything lines up so these new trees can thrive.
That's great. I mean, that's going to be great to have an expert who knows about these things. And I understand that these aren't just any trees. These are actually trees that were born and raised right here in Hanford.
That is true. So Fonseca Nursery right down the street here was named our tree supplier. We went on a competitive bid, and they're going to be growing a lot of the species right on site. So it makes it real convenient to be able to go out, pick up the trees, get them in the locations. We're finishing up at the Hanford Softball Complex. We lost about 100 trees out there to the bark beetle, and we'll be moving fairly quickly into some of our parks. The Youth Athletic Complex will get some new trees, and just all around the town.
Okay, let's spin the wheel and see what we got next. Okay, coming up in the Civic Auditorium, you have these date nights with parents. You have mother-son date night, father-daughter date night. Tell us about those.
Yeah, so this has been kind of an annual tradition here, and it's looked forward to by parents and their sons and daughters. So on April 17th, we have our mother-son dance, and on the following day, the 18th, we have our father-daughter. And the theme this year is really Let's Glow Crazy, which kind of goes back a little bit to the disco days of black lights, and we'll have a DJ and strobe lights and all of that. It will be at the Civic Auditorium, and both events are from 6 to 9 p.m. So really neat. Tickets are on sale. You can go online onto the city's website, and you can purchase your ticket. We also have a QR code on the website. And this year, Raising Cane's actually donated the dinners tonight, for this dance. So really kind of neat that a local vendor has stepped up and really supported these programs.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of that participation by the community. That's what's great. So having these companies that invest in the community and the youth especially. All right, next up. Brad, when you came on the show a year or so ago, we were so excited about the Boys and Girls Club at Co Park and the Longfield Center. And let's get an update on that.
Yeah, so the Boys and Girls Club is operating very strongly. Our enrollment has gone up. Now I think we're reaching the numbers of 30 to 40 students. It is for grades 7 through 12. What's really neat is our partnership with CART. And now any young person, 7th through 12th grade, who would like to come to the club, literally calls up cart. They'll pick them up at school and bring them to Co-Park, to the club. So we didn't want to have transportation be a barrier for those young people. So they cover a wide variety of arts, recreation, prevention, sports, a lot of different things that interest, young people today. They're getting more and more into STEM, doing some robotics and some coding. So those folks that are kind of into the technical, exciting things that are happening, it'd be a great thing to check out. And they can go over anytime and take a look. Parents are welcome at the club, and we're just real excited to continue this program.
Yeah, that's so great that it's taken off the way that it has. I know it's impacted a lot of families. All right, let's spin this wheel, Brad. Oh, the plunge. This has been a project, hasn't it?
Oh, man, it has. I often tell people, the plunge is up in years, and it's a little old and tired. And this last off season, in fact, right now we're kind of wrapping up some major repairs and renovation to the slide. I'm very, very happy to announce that the slide in the slide pool will be open June 1st when we open up to the public. We've been down a couple of years with the slide. What people don't realize, that slide is actually categorized as an attraction in the state of California. So it requires inspections yearly, and we've met now the criteria of those inspections, and we're very happy that that will happen this summer. We've also done some work in the mechanical room that will help us, and on the main pool. So not too long from now in May, we'll be getting our water aerobics and our lap swimming going. And then we really open up full tilt in early June when kids get out of school. And from the signs of spring, it may be a warm summer. So we're really looking forward to that. We've got probably about 3/4 of our lifeguards returning, which is always was always great. We do have some room. We're in the process right now of hiring a part-time aquatics technician, that their full job will be nothing but the maintenance and the upkeep of the plunge, and hopefully we'll avoid some of these, bigger repairs and renovations in the future.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so you're going to be hiring additional people in addition to the ones that you already have for the summer season, not only for the plunge, but the summer activities that you have planned as well. So we know that's a big part of it. Okay, we got a couple more here. Spinning the wheel. Winter Wonderland. I understand you gave a report to the City Council recently and talked about all the great things that happened with this year's Winter Wonderland and how the profits are going to be reinvested back into the park.
Yeah, we did. We're so happy. It took us a little while. All our numbers have to close out at the end of the year, and a little bit of revenue and expenses were trickling in. So we provided that report to council. The big number for us is we had 148,500 visits in 7 weeks, the highest number of people that we've had. So we continue to grow and expand regionally. So we're very, very happy about this. Our vendors did really well collectively. Our vendors, their gross was over $324,000. Wow. And most of these are local Hanford vendors. So that's pretty outstanding. When you take the revenue from the event with the vendors, it was creeping up on $900,000. So almost $1 million for 7 weeks is not too bad. Yeah. And we're really, really proud about that. We did end up with some net revenue. So after we paid all our expenses, we had a little bit of money that ended up coming in right around $90,000. We did some repairs to Civic Park.
Yeah, we've seen.
So one, we replaced some sidewalks and cement that the humongous ice cube out there broke. We've also done repairs to the fountain. There, we've resodded and reseeded the park, and actually Civic Park is really looking beautiful right now, and our goal is always to get it ready for the springtime. So we're really happy. So after you take out those repairs, we ended up with just under $50,000, and we're going to reinvest that back into the park. Again, the park electrical infrastructure's like really old, and we plug so much things in for Winter Wonderland. We blow circuits, and what happened to those lights? So we're going to be looking at adding some electrical pedestals in the park. Right now, all our vendors have to bring their own generators, and we're hoping to kind of cure that a little bit in the future. So everything, all of our net revenue will be kind of reinvested back into the park. It's such an important location for all the many special events we have here.
Yeah, for sure. A few weeks ago, I was interviewing Esteem Land about the courthouse purchase and their plans for what they're planning on doing. How is that going to impact the park usage in the carousel and the stage? I mean, what kind of things have you worked out with them to be able to still use that space occasionally?
Yeah, so now that we have new ownership, and that does include the courthouse square area where the faux brick and the stage is. So we send them an email and say, hey, we've got this event coming. Are we okay to use it? So far, they've been very gracious in allowing us to do that. That is technically part of the courthouse property now. And they're moving forward really quickly with the renovations inside. The carousel has remained the city's, and it is still part of, quote, Civic Park. So we're actually going to be doing some upgrades on the lighting. When we got it way back, that's like a 1934 vintage carousel. And again, it's considered attraction in the state size. So to get the right lights, we got to get approval from the state and do all that. But our building superintendent, Randy Shaw, is helping with that. And so hopefully fairly soon, it will be lit up in the reds and the yellows and the greens, and maybe have a little more of an impact on that corner with kind of looking like an old-fashioned carousel. So right now it's going really well with the new owners of the courthouse. We seem to be working together really, really well. We'll see as they progress what will happen, but right now everything's been working wonderful.
Yeah, that's great. It is going to be more of an attraction as businesses continue to move in, and eventually the restaurant and the brewery. I can see that really that corner that just has the carousel. I bet there's some more things that are going to end up going in there.
I think so. And I think it's going to be a great partnership because, our events will drive folks in indoors. And I think they'll come out of the courthouse into some of our events. So it's going to be a really nice indoor-outdoor, I think, experience for folks.
Well, I don't have to spin the wheel again because we just have one topic left, and that is Easter at the parks. And I have a couple of questions, but let's start with the Easter egg hunt and the day camp that you have going that week.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Easter egg hunt is actually sold out. We have 800 young people signed up.
800.
800.
Oh my God.
Our biggest ever. We have purchased 9,000 eggs with various goodies inside. So we have 4 different age groups. They'll report. It begins at 10:30 for ages 1 through 3, at 11 o'clock for ages 4 through 6, 11:37 to 9, and then at 12 o'clock for the little bit older, the 10 to 12-year-olds. So if you do go online, you're going to see that we're tapped out right now. I tell people if we have folks that don't come, that might have registered and not come, but this event is absolutely free. Again, talking about the community support, we've have several sponsorships that love to sponsor this particular event. That day, in addition, we'll have free train rides and free pony rides for all young people. Sorry, adults, you can't do those two, but it's usually a very, very busy morning. Hopefully the weather looks like it's going to be really nice. And so it's something that we've done. It's become a tradition now that I think people look forward to. The spring camp, we run camps every summer, winter, and spring. So this year, we are working and having campers age 5 to 12. Starts on March 30th all the way to April 3rd, which is spring break. And it goes from 7:30 to 5:30. And it's actually going to be in a new location in the Veterans Memorial Building. So a little bit different. That puts them literally right in Civic Park, and they do a lot of field trips and things like that. And we will actually be kind of, it's almost like cooking camp. So we call it Become a Junior Chef.
Okay.
And so they'll be able to come and they'll be able to learn how to make different dishes. In addition, we provide snacks and lunch free for all children, and that is available online right now on our website.
Well, we know the Civic Auditorium Park is going to be busy that week, but Easter Sunday is a day where we like to get out and we like to go to Freedom Park or Hidden Valley Park or Centennial Park or Lacey or any of these little pocket parks in neighborhoods. And I know that you have some of the arbors for rent and you can go on the website and do that. But what are some tips that you have for residents that are celebrating Easter with their families in the parks this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Easter Sunday is always, by far our biggest day in all of our city parks, community parks, even some of the smaller pocket parks. And what we ask people really, number one, is be respectful of one another. Try to avoid real loud music. Pick up your belongings and your trash. Usually it takes us a couple days afterwards to kind of pick up after everybody. Park your vehicle correctly. Technically, no car should ever be on turf. Believe it or not, it looks harmless, but there's sprinklers and we bust sprinkler heads and now we've got water shooting up and we have to go and repair all of that. So we just ask people stay in the designated areas. And we know in some parks it's street parking because they filled up, the park's parking lots. So we just ask that people, have a great time. Alcohol and smoking is not allowed in any of our parks at any time. All of our public parks are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. That is, 7 days a week. And, be respectful of the restrooms and, the playgrounds get very, very crowded and things like that. So we just want everybody to have a great time. Our park resource officers and the HEART team will be out quite a bit and monitoring our parks those days. So we just want everybody to have a fun, safe Easter, enjoying the wonderful weather.
Brad, it is so wonderful to have you on the show a lot. People are used to hearing you, but you've got so much going on and you've got a wonderful staff, including the office staff and your part-time employees that make all these events happen. Plus the maintenance, we can't leave out the city maintenance staff. They did such a wonderful job tearing down Winter Wonderland. The park looks great. And I think Hanford really has some enjoyable spaces to hang out.
Yeah, I really believe our parks maintenance crews have done a wonderful job of getting the parks ready really for kind of busy season. In May, the splash pads will be opening up for folks to go out there. Pretty soon, before we know it, the plunge will be open and it's going to be summertime. And here we go, another summer. So we're looking forward to it. It's a very busy time for us. And we love having people being outdoors, recreating, socializing. And really what I think is it creates community and togetherness in our community. And really, it's quality of life. And that's what we strive for every day.
Certainly. Well, thanks again, Brad.
You're welcome.
And now it's time for Hanford Insider Sports with Eric Bentley.
Make it 8 wins in a row for the Sierra Pacific baseball team after winning all 3 of their games last week to improve to 8-5 overall and 4-0 in league play. Monday's crosstown clash with Hanford High saw each team play a run in the first 2 innings before the Golden Bears scored 4 in the third to lead 5-1. The Bullpups answered with 2 in the bottom half of the inning before Sierra Pacific scored 4 more to take a 9-3 lead. Hanford High scratched 1 across in the 7th, but the Golden Bears prevailed 9-4. Tuesday, it was a steady dose of offense propelling Sierra Pacific to a 12-3 non-league win over Exeter. Then, in league play on Thursday at Washington Union, the Golden Bears were only able to muster up one run on one hit, but on the mound, Caleb Coolwine and Bryce Costa combined to shut out the Panthers as Sierra Pacific secured the 1-0 win. Easter Classic action awaits the Golden Bears this week. Despite the Monday loss to Sierra Pacific, the Hanford High baseball team is picking up momentum, off to a 4-0 start in league play after winning both games against Tulare Union last week. Wednesday's game at home saw a 9-run second inning propel the Bullpups to a 13-1 victory, while Friday's contest was more of the same, the Bullpups taking down the Tribe 11-1. At 6-5 overall, Hanford High will look to keep the momentum rolling in the Fresno Easter Classic this week. And the Hanford West baseball team split their pair of league games last week to find themselves at 2-2 in league play, 5-6 overall. In Tuesday's win versus Emmanuel, it was tied at 5 in the bottom of the 6th when the Huskies struck for 4 runs, putting all the pressure on the Eagles, who were unable to respond, as Hanford West picked up the 9-5 win. Then Thursday, it was a 12-4 defeat at the hands of Selma. The Huskies will also be in action this week with 4 tournament games on the docket. In softball, still no league play for any of the 3 teams, but all have seemingly hit a rough patch in their seasons, as the only win on the week came with Hanford West bookending Tuesday's game with Hanford High with a pair of 4-run innings en route to an 11-4 victory. After the victory, the Huskies traveled to Garces Thursday, where the Rams won 4-1, dropping Hanford West to 8-4 on the year, with a tough slate of tournament games ahead this week. The loss to Hanford West was the only game for Hanford High softball last week, as the Bullpups fall to 4-8 on the year with tournament action on the schedule this week. And for Sierra Pacific softball, it was a grind of 3 games last week, an 11-8 extra innings loss to Lemoore on Tuesday, a 12-10 loss to Kalinga on Thursday, then an 11-6 defeat to Sanger West on Saturday to fall to 3-9 overall, with only 1 game scheduled this week, Monday at home versus Exeter. And before we go, how about a track and field update? Last week, Sierra Pacific and Hanford West went 1st-2nd in both boys and girls at the TCC 3-way meet, with the Golden Bears claiming the top spot by a significant margin. Sierra Pacific also saw a pair of new school records set in the Madera Classic over the weekend, with Niang Ayuen going 35 feet 2 inches in the triple jump, and the boys 4x4 team of Jeremiah Cortez, Derek Lagobi, Bowdy Gutierrez, and Jaden Forey blazing into the record books with a time of 3:34.54. As always, if you have a score report or a team update for any team in any sport at any level, you can let us know by emailing hanfordinsider@gmail.com. I'm Eric Bentley, and this has been your Hanford Insider Sports Report.
And that wraps things up for this week's show. If you enjoyed this podcast and you'd like to show your support, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Hanford Insider to make a donation, or you can Venmo me. If you'd like to join the Hanford Insider email list, stop by my website at hanfordinsider.com to sign up for updates. You'll also get an exclusive copy of my newsletter in your inbox each week. I also need your help getting the word out about the show by liking and sharing on social media, or, like most people, just telling a friend. For more information about the show, you can find this podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, and YouTube at Hanford Insider. If you have a show idea, be sure to email me at hanfordinsider@gmail.com and I'll look into it. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Hanford Insider Podcast. Have a fantastic week.